Alright, let's get in and learn about the anatomy of that wing. But to do that, we are definitely extending these wings because, well, let me actually bring up one really important point. And this really gets to the reason behind why we study anatomy and what is really important about it. If all we were doing was sculpting a creature with its wings down like this, then the study of anatomy would have some impact. Okay, but let me just put out a point here real quick. Okay, anatomy helps form. Okay, and the operational word is helps because the primary thing is form. So form is primary. Anatomy helps us understand form. And to make this really clear, all you got to do is think about Hokusai. Does Hokusai study anatomy? Does he know everything about the patella and the epicondyles of different bones? Does he know where the bicep is going? Has he dissected a figure and looked at the complexity of the forearm? Does he know where the extensor digitorum longus is? Is it really important? No, I about guarantee you he doesn't know where the extensor digitorum longus is. But I about guarantee you that he's thinking about form. Form is what's really important. And that's one of the things that we have to keep in mind. Did the Greeks study anatomy? Did they know where the extensor digitorum longus? Pheidias, 500 BC. Did he know where all of the different forearm muscles were? Could he trace the extensor digitorum? Maybe. But not 100%. Because he's coming from the Byzantine artwork, which is coming from the Egyptians, which is coming from this long history of form. And I'm taking a moment here of your time, but one thing that's really cool to study is how Indian sculpture, okay, and by Indian sculpture I mean the deities and the forms that you see today on the different statuary, stuff like that. Study how Greek culture brought that to India at a specific time, and then India just kept that. They kept the simplified form of the arm as a cylinder. A cylindrical ball of clay, right? Just everything is cylinders within specific shapes cut out, you know. You can put the tricep in there, all of this form, and then put the common tendon in there. You can put all of that in once you know it, but primary thing is form. What we're going to study anatomy for. Why are we doing this? We're studying it so that we can authentically recreate different creatures and also motion. So the anatomy here is important to us because we're going to put the wings in motion. If we weren't putting the wings in motion, all we really need is some kind of simple shapes that will indicate a pigeon. That's all you need. A ball, a couple of cones, some kind of cube for the tail at the end. Let's get in there. Sorry, I took too much time on that, but this is a really important point for me. So let's talk and remember what we're doing here. This is a ball and socket. So it's a hinge plus it twists. Okay, but everything else is hinge. Hinge, hinge. So let's come in here. I'm going to say OK. And get all these guys. I'm going to polygroup them. So I'm going to go group, group visible. Why don't we set up all of our polygroups so I don't have to do that again. Okay. And then I'm going to draw an action line from one point to another. Cool. Cool. And then I'm going to press Shift, click on the screen, release Shift. Bet that's a tool you don't use a lot, and you have to do it a couple of times. It's definitely a hardcore ZBrush dude type thing. This might be easier. Yeah, just look at it from the top and then rotate it so that you get this kind of at this angle. I like that. Cool. Alright, that done and said, let's rotate that out. Okay, I'm starting with the end point so that we can make this make a little bit more sense as we progress. Alright, a lot of flexion in there. A ton. Okay, just an amazing amount that happens. Okay, and let's just check, are we within par? Yeah, we are within par. Let's move that up a little. Alright, now I'm going to show the radius and ulna. Control click to unmask. Control shift click to show. We're going to redraw this line, look at it from a side view. Like that. Like that. And we're going to unhinge that. Okay, and it's starting to definitely look crazy, right? Not looking all that pretty. But don't doubt the system. You got to go through all the steps, and I'm separating them there with move. And then again, control shift click, control click, control shift click. Okay, rotate, drag out your temporary bone, as some people call it. Twist this towards the front. Okay, so we just twisted that as though we were bringing the arms forward, but really what needs to happen is a whole bunch of twisting in this way, in this direction. LSIM. Let's try this action line another way. It's crazy, huh? But this is what happens when you know ZBrush like the back of your hand. Okay. Now, let's rotate this again. Just does not like that. That's cool, I'm adaptable. I don't mind. And you know what? Let's put our Z-sphere back in there. I kind of stopped talking about our Z-sphere, but this is our guide. It's really important that we have that intact. And end point to end point, I like that. And we've got the hinge moving down, so this is moving in this direction. And let's just move it up. Moving on up. Okay, I'm cheating. I love cheating. And I stop talking. When I stop talking, I'm in the artist mode, and I never get into that artist mode these days. But anyways, there we go. We got some extended wings. And we can get rid of those Z-spheres. Now we can go in and start learning about the anatomy of these extended wings. Okay, one thing I should mention, I stored a morph target here with this rig. Let me make sure that that's on, or I'll put something else on. So all I did was just going to move that center line out and do that. Okay, that's all I did. And then stored a morph target. But now you've got two shapes to work with.